Say something, Piero.
What do you mean?
Well, you always have so many clever things to say.
Well, I feel bad for you that you had to cause yourself so much pain. But the abortion is completely understandable. You simply thought that the child wouldn't have a life worth living, so...
Yeah, but the abortion in itself...
Abortion is not murder.
Oh, come on. Don't fall back on false cliches just for my sake. So I ask again, what about the abortion?
Well, I have no comment. I'm a big proponent for abortion rights, but this is 100% female territory. I don't believe a man can ever comprehend the situation or the pain. And when it comes to the method, I think the less said, the better.
Those are two very interesting points of view. First, you say that as a man, you can't understand a woman's feelings with regard to abortion. Well, that's a bit like saying that I couldn't understand the victims of earthquakes because they were Chinese. I thought we agreed that empathy was the foundation of all humanism. But I can see that it's very convenient for men to leave all that abortion stuff to women. That way they don't have to deal with the guilt and all the small stuff. But your other remark provokes me even more. You think my method is not worth discussing?
What enjoyment would I, or let alone a young pregnant girl, have from hearing all the lurid details about how a fetus is removed, in a clinical or any other way?
Well, then we're back at the discussion about eating something that was once alive. Do you really think abortion is so repugnant if you believe that we should know how animals are slaughtered in order to eat them?
Well, that's a fact we have to live with, even if we try to repress it.
Just as we do with abortion.
Well, you sound like you're pro-lifer from Texas.
I don't think so. First of all, I'm just as much pro-choice as you are. But on principle, I believe that taboos are damaging for human beings.
That's a relatively easy stance for you to take. But one that can be misconstrued as an argument against pregnancy termination. I don't want to belittle anything, but I can't see your abortion as anything but a luxury problem.
A luxury problem?
The really serious abortions, the ones that save lives, far from our social spheres. You can't endanger them just because you provocatively insist on showing the gory details. Consider all the millions of oppressed women, the victims of rape and incest, hunger. All those who, maybe thanks to an abortion, have regained a new life, maybe saved a child from starving to death. You can't harm them just because of some principle of openness.
Luckily, I was able to get the head of the fetus out on the first try, but it rarely goes like that. In the 12th week, the diameter of the head is a little more than 1.2 centimeters. Therefore, a very impressive instrument has been developed by the medical community.
The nutcracker is an instrument that we use to get the fetus out of the uterus completely. We enter it into and through the dilated cervical channel and position it around the head of the fetus. And you crack it like a nut. You pull out the fetus, and there you have it. That is the so-called nutcracker.
This is not something I need to know.
Oh, I hope you're not going to be an opponent of abortion based on that.
No. But you have to think of the outrage this knowledge would create in society.
So you're saying that people in general are too stupid to make decisions on an informed basis? And that coming from a man who only an hour ago sermonized about his belief in human qualities.
No, you're simplifying things. You can't look at it like that.
It's funny to see you so emotional suddenly. Looking back, it rankles me a bit that I didn't just show up all calm and collected at the appointment of the psychologist and had my abortion under full anesthesia. The fact is that when you're completely under, the fetus doesn't feel anything either. Whereas my action, of course, caused pain. Depending on how much consciousness you want to ascribe to a fetus about 12 weeks old.
I'm a bit nervous about bringing that subject up, as most of the abortions in the world, due to lack of resources, occur just under local anesthesia or none.
Wow, you're a careful man. Whether we talk about abortion or not, you can't escape death. And my fetus could have turned out to be a fine human being, but one that would also eventually die.